Today, I'm joined by awesome agent and good friend of mine, Rich Gibbens, team leader, JBRG, and listing specialist. Rich, thanks for coming in, man.
Hey, thanks for having me, man. Really excited.
Yeah.
Really excited for
Well, we're
today.
excited to have you, man. So, we want to talk a little bit about your journey into real estate. Give us your background.
All right, so I love saying this because I'm a veteran myself. As you can see, I'm sporting our KW military brand.
Loud and proud.
Loud
yeah.
and proud, man. Super American. But I was a combat veteran. I did Iraq and Afghanistan. I got out the end of 2011. I worked for construction. I was in IBEW Local 340 here. Got my journeyman license. And I actually met a friend while I was still an apprentice there. Met Bobby.
Yeah.
And then I was like, hey, man, what do you do for work? He's like, I'm a realtor. I said, how do I do that? You just always looking sharp, always smiling. So I ended up getting my license as an apprentice, finished out because they always tell you have a plan B. Probably a mistake. But so I finished off getting my journeyman's license, worked in the Bay for a little bit. And then August 2019, I came over full time after a car accident and never looked back.
I love it. So, what I would say is probably what you learned hard work. How does that translate into working hard as a real estate agent?
It's a grind. It's a grind, especially in today's market. So when I came in, COVID happened right after. So we just had to go fast, and I can go fast. Buyers and sellers were dropping out of the trees, and just go over there and just grab them, and here we go. Today's market, as we know, interest rates are high, this and that, whatever excuse we can say to not have leads coming through and closings. It's just all an excuse. Now you just got to know the skill to talk to people, find their motivation, find out what they need, right? Before it was like, oh, borrowing money is free, right? 2.25,
sure.
Right? 2.5%.
Sure.
You're never getting that again. Should have never happened. But now it's talking to people and really honing in your skills. Like if somebody says, hey, you know what? We only have a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. We want to expand our family. We need a little bit more yard space. We have 2 kids. We're in a packed house. You have that conversation with them. Okay, yes, your payment's going to go up. You have this equity. When do you want to get there, right? How if we're having the same conversation in 12 months, how's your wife going to feel? Now it's just finding their motivation. Like I said, being skills-based. You don't have to be as fast because people aren't seeing 40 houses and making 40 offers, right? It's, hey, we're going to see these homes that you really like, and let's go win.
I totally agree. I think people get lost in the interest rate. It's really about affordability. So when I look at somebody with a lot of equity, like you mentioned, that wants to maybe upgrade, they have that necessity for that extra room, that better location. Really, the option is let's look at what you could sell your house for, how we can use that equity to make things more affordable for you on that next purchase. Because sometimes it's not taking all that money and putting it all down. Sometimes it might be let's free up some other debt, let's pay some things off to help you understand how you're going to get there.
And I think that's why agents really need to figure out who they're partnering with on their lender. If you got a lender that's like, oh, let's just do this with everything, put it all down so your mortgage is lower, that's probably not, I would say 95% of the time, that's probably not the best scenario for them.
For sure.
Right?
Yeah.
Maybe pay off the RV that you pulled out money on to buy when your rates were low. Right? Let's pay off this. Let's pay off the credit card debt. Let's do all that. And we're seeing that nationally, though. Our credit card debt nationally is just astronomical. I think when we're talking to buyers and sellers, letting them know, like, hey, you might want to clear that up.
So what's funny is people have a hard time paying 7% for a mortgage, but they'll have no problem paying 29% on their credit card.
No problem. And you know what? Even renters paying 100% interest. Like that's what a rental rate is. If you don't, oh my God, interest rates are, what are they today?
Yeah. 7.5.
7.5.
Yeah.
At least you're buying your house.
Yeah.
At least you're building equity.
Well, you have a tax advantage. You have equity appreciation. You have, stability,
right.
Housing stability.
When you're making your payment, nobody can kick you out of your house. If that landlord says, hey, I'm taking my money and I'm moving out of state too.
Yeah.
Right.
So you brought up a great point. So you work with a lot of you work with a lot of lenders. Tell me what you notice between like a good lender and a great lender.
The difference between a good and a great lender. I mean, the proof is in the pudding, honestly. And that's cliche to say. I need for what I look for is a lender that comes to me with solutions. Hey, we're bringing you a buyer. We're doing this. Here's their scenario. This is what I know, right? This is what my agents know. And once you get the paperwork, being able to guide them. I see lenders just spitball, say, okay, we could do this, we do this, get in a contract, and oh man, they actually can't. They can't buy. So not only does the buyer, or not only are they out thousands of dollars for inspections, now they're hurt.
Yeah.
They're broken heart.
Time
right?
spent.
Time spent, money spent.
Invested.
You get that emotional investment too, especially you're looking to move in with your lady or you're moving in with your family, whatever you're doing. And then all of a sudden the train just gets derailed. And I think having a great lender knows how to facilitate through that and knows ahead of time, hey, all right, you can't buy today. In 3 months or 6 months, this is what it looks like. We're going to structure this out for you. We got a plan, maybe build some credit, pay this off, like just foreshadowing, knowing what's coming and really looking at their data, at the buyer's data.
Where does that come from the lenders? Does that come from experience? Does it come from communication? Does it come from just being solutions oriented, in your opinion?
In my opinion, there is something to do with their experience. There's something to do with that. I also think that if they come with solutions, then they could be brand new and still know how to do it, right?
Sure.
You know, I never
maybe they're new, but they have a good team behind them.
100%, right? We all started somewhere.
Yeah.
We all started somewhere. But I think being solution oriented, having the experience too, and the way we operate, right? When you get a buyer from us, you know everything all up front. We're saying, hey, this is what they're looking to do. This is how much they want to spend. This is where they're looking at, right? Good, and getting to know your client too, or the buyer, what they want, and then send them over. Say, hey, this is what their scenarios. Let me know if you see any red flags that are going to pop up.
And that's communication.
That's communication.
Rich, favorite neighborhood in all of the Sacramento area?
Favorite neighborhood? Oh, I'm a little biased to my neighborhood over there in Natomas. I love the freeway access. We're going to the Niner game today, so it's pretty quick to get out.
Convenience.
It's convenient for me. And we're putting in a Costco, right? So that's it. The next thing we need is a Chick-fil-A, and I'm set for life. But I do like to travel a lot, so having the airport there, I'm pretty biased to that. But if you go into the older communities, man, Curtis Park, Tahoe Park, they're all wonderful. And then, obviously, if you go up the hill a little bit, right, you're closer to Tahoe.
For sure.
I'm biased to my location. I love it. I think Natomas is a great community.
Tell me maybe your hardest or craziest buyer experience.
Oh man, I think buyers are great. I think that's
any experience that you've had that really stands out.
Yeah, there's an experience. I do listings now. Like I let my buyers agents run their business and we rock and roll.
All right, let's just say this: craziest real estate experience.
I know. I got a few. But one of the sellers that I had, oh my goodness, I will never talk to this gentleman again. We helped him sell his property. First, he's like, hey, Rich, I want you to do it off market. Bring the buyer. And this is during COVID. He wanted too much for the property. I said, okay, I'm going to go shoot this out to our 200 agents, do all this. I'm going to broadcast every way I can to do this. Didn't work out. He's in a time crunch. We go on the market during COVID. We didn't get an offer the first 2 weeks. I'm like, hey, man, we got to come down. This is a problem, right? If your property is getting picked up in this, there's a price problem for sure, right? And I was relatively new. I was like year and a half in or so. We ended up selling. They get a rent back. They had a dog that lived in this property. This is a new condo, right, in Natomas. This is where this happened. Yeah. And I noticed when we listed the house, there's dog crap in one of the bedrooms. They just let the dog
free
just rock and roll. Hey, we're too lazy to take him right outside, right? So I was like, hey, we're gonna have to have this stuff cleaned up. But it didn't smell like they were on top of it. Like It wasn't one of those, which was really weird. I don't quite understand. Anyways, sold the property. They move out of state. They had a rent back and they left some stuff, right? So, there's a security deposit that gets held with escrow whenever you have a rent back and everything. And so the buyer's agent called me, hey, Rich, the seller left some stuff. I said, all right, well, send me over the bill for the dump removal, right?
Sure.
And so there's a few $1,000s tied up in escrow. And I'm like, hey, man, you got to pay this little bill. He's like, hell no, I'm not paying that. I said, okay, well, the money's just going to sit in escrow, dude. Right. And we're going back and forth on this. And I discounted my commission at the time. I was like, I need this listing. I got to go. And so we're on the phone and I'm pissed. I finally yelled at him. I was like, hey, dude, if you're going to hold this up, F off, right? And never talk to me again, right? Here's the only solution. You're gonna do it.
Yeah.
And this is it. And he's like, is this how I get my money back? I said, yeah, and this is how we're gonna do it, right? Also, the buyer agent called me later on to find out that next door neighbor was on Megan's list. Yeah. And she's like, that wasn't disclosed. I was like, well, that's out of there. It was just funny, but I had to yell. I had to yell at a client because he was
tough seller didn't get it.
Yeah, tough seller didn't understand. It's a $250 bill, and I'm like, I had to yell, dude. I was super frustrated. That was
the hard one.
I gained a lot of confidence.
Difficult.
Gained a lot of confidence after that.
Rich, I know we've shown you the Clear Mortgage model. What was so exciting for you about that model?
I'm a big advocate of owning businesses, right? I have a couple businesses myself and looking to grow in that department and be a better leader for those. And I think when it comes to Clear Mortgage and the opportunity for a lender and other partners to start that K1 ownership, I was really, really impressed with it. I'm like, well, I mean, you know that I had a lending company too, and you know, we dissolved, and that's fine. And having this other option, I'm like, dude, you can really generate some wealth. And I think when people start seeing that, hey, it offers ownership, that's a different level conversation.
Yeah, I agree. It's really attractive to the entrepreneur, the person that wants to build, right? Kind of gives you that opportunity to earn some revenue now, but also really think big picture at the same time.
Yeah, we were talking about it being vested, and that's forever. I'm like, dude, you gotta do this.